Hello everyone, myself Sonam teacher. Today I am going to teach you for class 7th English textbook Honeycomb lesson number 5, that is quality. By the name of lesson you understand that is a property. Yes, quality is a property which we use for the best product. So the quality, why the lesson name is quality? By what thinking the author is given name as a quality to the lesson? See, in this lesson the author is going to tell about a one shoemaker who is preparing the shoes himself with his brother. So when that person was preparing the shoes, it was a good act or it was the good art. Why it is known as art? Art is a beautiful thing. Yes, to make something beautifully, to create something beautifully is known as art. So the author is thinking that the persons, two brothers who were preparing the shoes themselves and selling, that was a good act, art by them. So why it was a good art and why the lesson name was quality? Because the both person were preparing the shoes of good quality and they were known for their quality work, and that work they were preparing or they were just making that work very interesting, and they were just totally invest their time for preparing the shoes. Means in a whole day whatever the orders they were taken, they were completing in the proper way and in the particular time, as they were not asking to another company to prepare the shoes and give for them. They were preparing with their own hands that shoes. So what actually the author like about those shoes? Why he was giving the order to the same shopkeeper again and again? That we are going to see in this lesson. So lesson number 5, quality. You have to open your textbook so you can understand properly. See, here some questions asked. Can shoemaker be called an artist? We call an artist to the person who is singing, dancing, or who is just doing the paintings. But here the author is telling that the shoemaker is an artist. Why? Because the shoes were made by that shoemaker was good quality and it was very amazing. So he can say that it is an art to make such things. Yes, we can say a shoemaker is an artist because if he has the same skill and pride in his trade, means in his work, as any another artist, and the same respect for it too. Mr. Gessler, a German shoemaker settled in London, is a perfect artist. See, here is a character. First one character was author, the second one character is Mr. Gessler, and third one is Mr. Gessler's brother, and fourth one will come to know, that is the another shopkeeper. Before starting to the story, we have to know betterly that the author is talking about Mr. Gessler, who was actually from German, but he was settled in London, and in London only he started to prepare his own shoes and selling in the shop. He was living with his brother in the same place where he was having a shop. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth because he made my father's boots. He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. The shop had a certain quiet destination. There was no sign upon it other than the name of Gessler Brothers, and in the window a few pair of boots. He made only what was ordered, and what he made never failed to fit. To make boots, such boots as he made, seemed to me then, and till seems to me, mysterious and wonderful. I remember well my shy remarks one day while stretching out to him, "My youthful foot, isn't it awful hard to do, Mr. Gessler?" And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness, of his beard, I did is an alert. See, this is the line which was used or which was told by the Gessler, that is actually in a German language. Means, as the Gessler was a German person, sometimes it happens that he was suddenly talking a German. Though he was living in London, he used to talk sometimes in German. As we know that mother tongue is by birth, so we learn that language by the surrounding of our family. So, though you are talking in a foreign language anywhere else, if sudden action happens, the reaction will comes in the mother tongue only. Suppose you are talking in English, it is a foreign language for you, but as soon as something happened dangerous, that time you will utter I. Yes, means as soon as you fall down, you will utter or you will use your mother tongue to talk. Same way, sometimes Mr. Gessler also used the German language to talk with the next person when he forgot that he is in London or suddenly any action happens, he just give the reaction or answer in a German. The author said that he was knowing that person, means Mr. Gessler, from his young one, when he was young, means as he was young, he was going to the school. During that time he was knowing that person, because the author's father also preparing or giving the order to Mr. Gessler for the boots. As the author liked the qualities of that quality of that boots made by the Mr. Gessler, so he used to go to the same shop for preparing his own boots. The shop was near the street, and Mr. Gessler was living with his brother, and they both were living there and preparing the shoes and selling. So, they were not having any logo or any particular picture for their shop's name, only the name was Gessler Brothers, and they were famous for their quality work. As we know that nowadays on television we see many advertisers are coming there, shops and other sites, and they are just making advertisement and then they are selling their objects, whatever material items are there. But the Mr. Gessler and his brother was no need of any advertisement, and they were selling the good quality boots, and that was only the advertise. As we come to know the first example of author, as the author's father was making or just giving the order of boots to the Mr. Gessler, nowadays he is giving order for himself, means he liked that quality and he ordered the boots for him. One day when the author came to the Mr. Gessler, and he said while standing there and giving the order, he said that that shoes was not fitting to him. That time Mr. Gessler said that it is very hard for it, to wearing it. Actually, the author thought that the shoes which I am unable to wear properly or I am having some problem, that are made by the Mr. Gessler, because most of the time he was giving order to Mr. Gessler, but this time he forgot. Sometime he was in hurry and he had purchased those shoes from the another shop, and that was not from Mr. Gessler. But when he came to Mr. Gessler's shop, he forgot and he said that actually it was made from you and it is troubling to him. So, after watching that shoes, Mr. Gessler understood it was not made by him, and that was of another shop's shoes. After watching that shoes and boots, he understood and he just talked in a German. What he talked with the author? See, it was not possible to go him very often. His boots lasted terribly, having something beyond the temporary, some essence of boot stitched into them. One went in, not as into most shops, but restfully as one enters a church, and sitting on the single wooden chair waited a guttural sound and the tip tap of his slippers beating the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without a coat, a little man in a leather apron with sleeves turned back, blinking as if awakened from some dream of boots. And I would say, "How do you do, Mr. Geisler? Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots?" Without a word, he would leave me returning where he came or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair, inhaling the essence of his trade. See, whenever the customers are coming to the shop, most of the shopkeepers were doing, they are just started to do the discussion or talking or asking which type of material do you want. But here Mr. Geisler is not talking anything. Without a single word, he just listened the order of author, and instead of saying anything, he just walked to the another portion of the shop, and the author also followed him, and he just went to that portion where the Mr. Geisler kept the other all material of his preparation for the boots, or for making the boots, whatever material he was needed, that was kept in a particular room. So, in that particular room and portion, the author went, and before that author said that which type of clothes the Mr. Geisler wear. Yes, he wore the clothes also made by the leather, as he was very much attentive, or he was very perfect in his work. He was loving to make the shoes and different type of boots. So, he was very proud for that. So, wearing the leather coat and the boots, he was just walking on that staircases. When he was walking on the staircases, the particular type of sound was there, like tip top, and by that sound only the author understood that Mr. Geisler is coming towards him. And when they reached to that particular portion of the shop, the shopkeeper was showing the piece of different leathers to the author, means to the his customer, to get trusted that he is using the real quality or the good quality of the leather. As soon he would come back holding in his hand a piece of gold brown leather with eyes fixed on it, he would remark, "What a beautiful piece, what a beautiful piece." Actually here spellings are different, okay, beautiful and piece spelling is given different, because as we know that Mr. Geisler is from the German, so he was not just pronouncing those words properly. As he was living in the London, he used to speak in English for getting the customers, so he tried to speak in English, "What a beautiful piece," but he said, "What a beautiful piece." When I too had admired it, he would speak again, "When do you want them? When do you want them?" Means at what time I should complete this work of preparation of shoes. And I would answer, "Oh, as soon as you conveniently can." And he would say, "Tomorrow fortnight," or if he were his elder brother, "I will ask my brother." See, here few spellings are different, so don't get confused, as it is given as same uttered by the Mr. Geisler, same spellings are given here, means because of his English is foreign language for him, he was using it differently. Same way it happens with us also. If I am not able to talk Kannada in proper way, so I will use that words slangly, or it will be the properly not uttered properly. Mr. Geisler asked the author, first he shown the one piece of leather, that this is a leather I am going to use for making for you the Russian boots, and it is a beautiful one. Then the author is ready for that. After that, the second question of Mr. Geisler's, that at what time you want these boots, when I should prepare it, or before which time you will come to collect it. Then the author said that as soon as you can finish, means jitna jaldi ho sake utna jaldi. Then the Geisler said that I will ask my brother at what time, up to what time I can prepare it. Then I would murmur, thank you. What is murmur? Means just to talk slowly, that is a murmur. So with a slow voice he said to Mr. Geisler, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Geisler. Good morning, he would reply, still looking at the leather in his hand. And as I moved to the door, I would hear the tip tap of his slippers going upstairs to his dream of boots. What is dream of boots? Okay, before going to see what is dream of boots, what the author said, thank you and good morning to the Mr. Geisler. But after that, the reply of Mr. Geisler was only good morning. Okay, and that was also the very silent reply. And after replying it, during the replying to author, that time also he was looking to that piece of leather. Okay, because he was continuously in that phase of doing work. Means when the author was discussing something with the Geisler, that time also Geisler was busy in that thinking that how I will prepare that boots, or how much leather I will need for this, means those all thinkings in his mind. So he was busy to stare at that leather, he was looking to that leather, and he just said that good morning, and he started to walk back on the upstairs, where he was having all the material of preparation of boots. The particular area or portion of the shop was reserved for preparation of the boots, where the Mr. Geisler was keeping all those things which are needed for the boots. So that the place was known as Dream of Boots. Why the Dream of Boots? As if you loving to prepare something else. Suppose you are a good painter or a artist, you can draw properly, very nicely you can draw and color it. If you are having a same corner in a home, you can say that it is a dream of paintings. Like that, Mr. Geisler is having dream of boots, the particular place where he was preparing or creating the new shoes and boots for the customers. See, as the author was given order, that time Mr. Geisler asked, when you want this? Why he asked? Yes, because Mr. Geisler was not preparing advanced boots, he was just preparing those boots which was ordered. Means he was not having many pairs of the boots in the shop, only the few pairs of boots were there to show the sample pieces in Mr. Geisler's shop, and he was just taking the order and preparing the shoes, and there was no any fault during preparing the shoes or boots. He was preparing, it is perfectly, it should be fitted to the customers. I cannot forget that day on which I had occasion to say to him, Mr. Geisler, that last pair of boots creaked. Do you know? See, one day the author went to the Mr. Geisler and said that the pair of boots made by Mr. Geisler was creaked. It is not a good quality. Actually, as we come to know till this line, the author was praising to Mr. Geisler and his brother for the quality of boots. But now he said that one day he went to Mr. Geisler and said that the last time prepared boots are not in a good condition, that are not a good quality. Then he looked at me for a time without replying, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement. Then said, I did shouldn't away Greek. This is also the reply in a German, as he was very angry that he not did this mistake. Mr. Geisler was preparing only the quality shoes or boots, and the author was asking, or he was complaining that the last time's boot were not in a good quality. So suddenly he get angry and he replied in a German, it did, I am afraid. Then the author was become afraid. You got them when before they found themselves. See, then again Mr. Geisler said that you have to bring it to me before you say anything. You just bring those boots to me so I can say you something. I don't think so. At that he was lowered his eyes as if hunting for the memory of those boots, and I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing, that Z them back. Okay. Then the Geisler said that bring them back or send them back. He said, I will look at them. Mr. Geisler said that actually it will not happen from me, that I will make a low quality type of boots, but then too you are saying that those boots are made by me and that are of not good quality, then bring them back. Zoom bobs, he continued slowly, are bad from breadth. If I can do nothing with them, I take them off your bill. See, when the author said that no, those boots are made by you and are not in good quality, then Mr. Geisler said that you bring those boots back to me, I will repair them, and if I am not able to repair them as per your expectations, I will pay for that. I will give you all money back. I will refund your money whichever you pay for those shoes. Means he was having the 100% confidence that he will not make such mistake, and he was given the good quality shoes to the author, and that torn or that broken shoes are not of his. Once I went absent-mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. He took my order without showing me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior converting of my foot. As last he said, those are not my boots, those are not my boots. Then Mr. Geisler was looking towards the feet of author, and he come to know that those boots are not made by himself and that are from the another shop. And he said to author, those are not my boots, that I had not prepared. I did urge you then, he said, does big worms are no self respect. And then, as if something had given way within him, he spoke long and bitterly. It was the only time I ever heard him discuss the conditions and the hardship of his trade. See, when the author said that you had gave me the low quality boots, that time Mr. Geisler was very angry, and he said that those boots are not made by me. By watching only he understood that those boots are not made by himself, actually it was took from another shop. Then the author understood that once he was in hurry and he just purchased those boots from the another shop. But then too the Geisler was get angry, and he started to talk that these all other company people are not having the quality work, they are not thinking about the quality and name of the company. Instead of doing the quality work, they are just making the advertisements and giving the low quality material of the boots and low quality boots to the customers, and because of that we people are facing problems. See, if you go to the market, some people are having the quality items, quality objects, but when we get the same type of material, same color and some same item, actually it is differ by the quality, but by the appearance we understand, we feel that they both are same. So one shop is having the same material for 3000 and in another shop you will get it for only 2000 or 1000. Then you think that why I should give such extra expenses to that another shopkeeper. During that we should think about the quality of material also. The same thing was explained by the Mr. Geisler to the author, that I am not giving such type of materials or the low quality material to anyone else like other shopkeepers. The shopkeepers are making advertisements and they make you fool. He said that we are in problem because of such peoples who are using low quality material and giving you the boots in the less money, and afterwards you are coming towards us and saying that the boots you made are not a quality work. They get it all, he said, they get it by advertisement, not by work. They take it away from us who love our boots and who like our boots and goes this presently and half no work. See, that Mr. Geisler was talking in a German. When he get angry, he started to talk in a German, and English also he was using very slangily or wrongly, so the spellings are given different. Every year it gets less. When we'll see, you will see. And looking at his lined face, I saw things I had never noticed before, bitter things and a bitter struggle, and what a lot of grey hairs there seemed suddenly in his red beard. When Mr. Geisler was angry, he was started to talk about the people who are selling the material, low quality material in the market for the low price, and because of that the persons or the shopkeepers who are having the quality work, they are getting very less customers and they are having many problems during the trade. And this time the author was surprised, because every time he saw the Mr. Geisler was talking only regarding the order of his boots, that which type of leather you want, which type of color of leather, and at what time he need that shoes or boots. Instead of that, he was not using a single one word also. But today he was get angry and he was talking about those all shopkeepers who were using the low quality material and selling for the low price. As best I could, I explained the circumstances of those ill omitted boots, but his face and voice made a deep impression that during the next few minutes I ordered many pairs. They lasted longer than ever, and I was not able to go to him for nearly 2 years. See, after listening the struggle and hard work of Mr. Geisler, the author feel that I should give my all different type of boots order to Mr. Geisler, so he can survive or he will get some extra money and I will also get a quality work. But after giving this order for many pair of boots, the author was unable to reach or unable to go back to the Mr. Geisler shop. Means around after 2 years he reached to Mr. Geisler's shop. See, it is not a small span, it was very long span. After 2 years Mr. Geisler's shop author was visited after giving the order, and as soon as he reached to Mr. Geisler's shop, see, after 2 years if he reached to anyone, and you are asking for the material which was you ordered, the same person really he can forgot you. Same way the Mr. Geisler was unable to understand that who is he, but when the author just remind him that he gave the order of many boots to him, and what was the order he told, and then Mr. Geisler was ready to give him boots. It was many months before my next visit to his shop. This time it appears to be his elder brother handling the piece of leather. See, after 2 years when the author came back, that time he found that the next person is not understanding or not identifying author, and author also get confused why he is not identify me, or why he not understand which type of boots order I have gave previously, because there was not Mr. Geisler, but the brother of Mr. Geisler. Every time he was observing the both brothers were there in the shop, but one was taking the order and another was busy every time to prepare the boots. But this time he was surprised, only one person was there, and that was not Mr. Geisler, but his brother, and who was taking the order from the author. So, why there was only one person in the shop? Where was the another brother of Mr. Geisler? That we are going to see in the next episode of this story. Till then, you have to read the lesson, you have to underline the hard words and start to find out from the dictionary. Thank you.